So it's always an adjustment when we do these altar decorating situations because I'm used to looking at this camera for everything we do, and I'm up here with you this time. So welcome in. This is our Imbolc Altar Decorating. Are we calling them parties? It's kind of a party.
It's a party.
It is a party. Dr. Pepper for me for my party today. But if it's later where you are, it could be a Imbolc champagne party, a little wine, a little mulled cider, something you're doing. We are still midwinter. In Southern California, we had a huge reminder of that last night. I really was like, it's going to pick up the house and take it with it. It felt like being in the Wizard of Oz. I haven't had winds like that where I live in a really long time. I did a lot of weird things in my backyard. So we are still midwinter, but we are halfway to spring when we get to Imbolc. Now, it's not Imbolc today. Today's the 11th of January. We are preparing you for Imbolc by decorating Sacred Space. And this is the start of our Imbolc altar here at Sage Goddess. We're also going to be live blending. I'm going to be live blending Perfume with you, so I'm really excited about that. And so I'll tell you all about that in just a couple of minutes, but I want to welcome you in. Yeah, it is winter time, but we will get through. So I want to back up just for a minute to share with you what Imbolc is all about. When I was studying magic, I took a traditional sort of pagan approach to the first part of my career, and so took an entire year-long course. It was a year-and-a-day course in what is called Wicca by most people. It's not my current path, but I learned so much about the high holidays and also what we call the lower Sabbats, which is what Imbolc is. Those are the holidays between the big points, right? Between winter solstice and spring equinox, we have Imbolc. And what I love about the Wheel of the Year in some of those more earth-based pagan traditions, what I love about the way they mark time is they measure not just the quarters, but the cross quarters, which are important portals of energy, right? It's such a big deal to turn the season from winter to spring, from spring to summer. But those midway points that tell us we're halfway there are really important. For our ancestors, this was a critical time. How dark and intense and cold the winter, how much the ground freezes, had major impacts on harvest seasons, as you can imagine. And so Imbolc was a really anticipated and celebrated and longed for moment, because what it said is that the ground is about to break, it's about to thaw. And then from there we can figure out, okay, was it, what kind of winter was it? What kind of harvest can we expect? So Imbolc means in the belly in Gaelic. It is a Celtic holiday. There is a Christian version of it called St. Bridgid's Day, and of course Bridgid is known as being a figure and archetype of fertility, healing, unconditional love, like maternal love. But in our sort of earth-based view, she's also a goddess of the fire and the flame, and the fire that we know never goes out. So no matter how cold winter gets, no matter how windy it is, there is a fire that never goes out. And that concept, I like to take things kind of like high metaphysical for you and give you all the history, and then I like to take it really practical and make it applicable for you today, because you might be thinking, well, Bridgid, like, how do I need to work with Bridgid in my life? How is she going to help me as an archetype? And it's great to see you, by the way. Thank you for checking in. I'll try to keep an eye on your comments too while I go. So the last thing I want to say about Bridgid for me is that she represents this idea that you have a strength in you that you may not have tapped into yet. And I think that is profoundly important. The fertility side, of course, is super important, because the fact that Imbolc means in the belly, all the animals are pregnant right now. So if you think about it, all of nature is going to give birth in the spring. So the birds are building their nests, or have built their nests. They're warming their eggs, right? The rabbits are pregnant. A lot of animals in nature are pregnant, or sort of in a deep hibernation state, gestating, if you will. So I do love that aspect of it. But what I love most of all, and the way I want to make it practical for you, and welcome if you are here for our Imbolc decorating party, you are in the right place. For me, that's what my mom was. And I lost my mom about 2.5 years ago. It's hard to believe it'll be 2.5 years in February. And she represented this idea that there is a type of love. It's super rare. If you find it and you have it, you really should treasure it, because very few people will ever love you this way. There is a type of love that's like a light you can't extinguish. Nothing you do. You know, I think of my children, for example, right? Like, no matter where they go, what they do, there will be a light in me for them that never goes out. My mom was that for me. And then, you know, I think of my dad that way too, but my mom held the maternal edge of that, and it was always she was a tough cookie, but she was also a soft place to land. And I knew that no matter how far I went from center, that I could come back to her and she would embrace me. And so I think of Bridgid that way. Does that make sense? She's holding the little candle for you. She's holding the match or the flame. And when you can't find your own light, when the world's love seems fleeting and conditional, she can be that sort of practical source of a feminine love for you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk on Imbolc. So if you have Celtic roots, which I have a smidge, my kids have some because my husband has Celtic lineage, so my kids enjoy Celtic lineage. If you, this is probably a sacred time to you. If you honor the Wheel of the Year, it's probably sacred to you. And even if you just are like me and you want winter to be over so spring will be here soon, that can be your reason for celebration. It's also usually aligned around the time of the Tucson Gem Shows, which we will be there, I think, up until Imbolc this year, so looking forward to that as well. Okay, do you have any questions? I love it. Yeah, and you know, and here's the thing. Some people didn't or don't have that connection with another human being, and what I will say is that's where the archetypes can be very helpful. It sounds trite, but you can be that for yourself, right? You can, when the world doesn't mirror that kind of love to you, it's almost completely a challenge to see if you can be that for yourself, and then if you can hold that space for other people with compassion and tenderness. So we love us some Bridgid around here. I will make you laugh for a second. One of the things about Bridgid, when most people talk about her, that drives me crazy, and I don't know if you feel the same way, in almost every pantheon, they sort of like say there's one goddess who does it all. It's like Freya. Or what's another example of one of these do-it-all goddesses? Isis, right? So everything gets attributed to them. Fertility, love, magic, sex, abundance, prosperity, happiness, joy, peace, you know, whatever it is. And I always say if every goddess is for everything, then nobody's for anything, right? I mean, every goddess has their wheelhouse, right? So I do try to teach what distinguishes Bridgid from all the other goddesses, because I don't like the buy one, get everything free goddess model. I don't know if it's accurate. So I love it. Mariposa said her blood was healing. Isn't that interesting? I love your name, by the way. Yeah, it drives me crazy. Yeah, you know what? Candace says they do it with Kali too. Kinda. I mean, Kali gets all the bad stuff, right? So anything bad, oh, that's Kali, right? And then anything good goes to Lakshmi or whatever. You know what I mean? We have to really sort of parse out I think the fine distinctions. It's probably the academic in me, but I just don't like to say everything is everything. Okay. So, and of course, we are talking always at Imbolc about growth, because soon things are going to bud and blossom and bloom. Some of your trees and shrubs might already have. My peach tree already has its little, they call them boopadoops on it. It's ready to go. We do have new moon in Capricorn, by the way, so if you feel like, why am I seeing you now, Athena? Aren't I going to see you tonight? We do have a new moon in Capricorn today at 5 p.m. Right here on YouTube as well. So yes, I'm going to take an hour break. You're going to take an hour break and then hopefully come right back and we'll be together. Okay. You ready for this? So, this is the altar space, and what we've really been enjoying about these gatherings with each other is kind of talking about A, what is an altar? B, what do we add to an altar? And C, what would be special to add to an altar for this holiday, and why would you want one, right? So we've talked about why you would want one, I think, right? You want to honor that spring is coming, that growth is emerging. You want a place to maybe even put some ancestral pictures up of people who've loved you that way. If they're in the spirit world, that might be a beautiful way of bringing in that sort of really practical Bridgid energy. And also the ancestors love it when we put their pictures out. Most of us believe they can see them. So anyway, that would be why you would want this altar. And then in terms of what goes here, we're working with a Pantone of greens and golds and like sort of warm beiges, and even into, to my eye anyway, sort of the, I made it worse, didn't I? The lilac, anything in the lighter shades. Because again, think of when you're designing something like this, you're going to know the colors are going to work together. This is kind of a design tip, but you'll know if the colors are going to work together if you find them together in nature. Nature is not an accidental palette. So sometimes things will even be in contrast. You might say, well, there's light green and there's really dark green, but you find light green and dark green in nature together, right? So if you follow nature's palette, even in her extremes, it's always going to look good in your home, on your altar. And so just ask yourself that question: would I find these colors together? Would I find these textures together in nature? It's probably going to be really beautiful for you in your space. We love a little sacred space design here at Sage Goddess. So let me tell you about where we started in our initial setup for this altar. Going in that direction of greens and golds, remembering that we are approaching a season where we're going to be thinking about new life, new beginnings, and also setting intentions for abundance and prosperity for the growth season, which is crazy to think about that. So we went with sort of a taupe velvet beaded, this is a belly dance hip scarf. We're fond of those around here at Sage Goddess. You can also cut, you can get sort of bolts of velvet and cut it into triangles and have the same effect. Or you can use a rectangular cloth and let it sort of drape over the edge, which is pretty too. But sometimes a triangular version, what it does is it guides your eye upward to the center of the altar itself, which is the wand and the mandala. And so you can see we chose that in shades of gold. I love this because this was a wand that I made with my students over the course of a year. We added each one of the trillion stones to our quartz wand. And so for me, it has so many beautiful memories attached to it. It also represents cycles, right? So whenever I look at it, I think about we went through Imbolc together and every other season. So some of you might look back to, if you've been teaching or taking classes with me for a long time, some of your class tools are fun to add to your altar space, and they add color and life and also really sweet memories with them too. Okay, now, this is a crocus, right? Not, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm gonna make sure I'm not telling you the wrong flower. I don't think I have it on my sheet, but it was from the Imbolc set. I think it's a crocus. What I love about these little flowers, and hopefully yours is starting to grow, I got one of these during my book signing. A client of mine who came to my book signing, I was so excited, brought me amaryllis in the wax like this. And what's cool is you put it on your altar and you don't have to water it. It just grows on its own. I couldn't believe how gorgeous. The amaryllis is still blooming. So this one will represent new life, new beginnings. So if you got it with your kit, make sure it's got a front and center spot on your altar. And then one of my beautiful students, sometimes I don't mention people by name because I don't know if they like that, but another one of my beautiful students gifted me these gorgeous stone teacups, and so I wanted to add those in there too. They're little, I believe they're jade, so they have a little bit of like that pop of green color and the duality of the light green and dark green. And remember your color magic too. Are we okay? I'm just looking at the feed. Oh, narcissus, not crocus. Okay, narcissus. By the way, if you haven't smelled narcissus, it is one of the most beautiful flowers. We have had pure narcissus essential oil in the past. I don't think we have any right now. I'm not sure. Did we put it in today's blend? I don't think we did. It's usually, yeah, it's hard for us to get. But it is like the most delicate, beautiful, sweet white flower you've ever smelled. And of course, we love the myth, right, of Narcissus from Greek mythology. So, you know, Narcissus, the duality of that is being too obsessed with your own magic and beauty and then not being obsessed enough, like needing to appreciate how beautiful and special and wonderful you are. So I do think Narcissus helps us remember. So that's kind of the basics of it. Now, we like to create height. So bringing all the visual to the center of the altar creating height and then creating interest with different colors of fabrics, different textures. There's a velvet and then kind of this crinkled silk. So that also creates a really beautiful stage for the magic that you're going to build. Okay. These I brought over because they were, honestly, they were in my other windowsill and they were dying. That was where they were, was not their happy place. And so I brought them over yesterday just to rescue them. And then when I came in today, they're sitting on the other side of the altar. It's like, oh, yeah. So those were from a kit eons ago too, if you don't remember. But I have kept them marginally alive, the air plants. They were just sitting in a hot windowsill, so their chances of survival were minimal. Oh. Well, shit, now Candace is saying it's daffodil. What say you, Karen? Is it narcissus? Daffodil's lovely. What's interesting is snowdrop, daffodil, let me bring it back. Snowdrop, daffodil, narcissus, crocus, freesia. Those are the 5 flowers of Imbolc. Have you smelled freesia? I think this is freesia. Yeah. Have you ever smelled freesia? Okay. Freesia may be my favorite scent of a flower on the planet, and it will surprise you if you haven't smelled it. It almost doesn't seem like it could possibly be real, the scent of freesia. And they're hard to find, except I always find them at Trader Joe's. It's a narcissus in the kit. Okay. All right, cool. Love it. Okay, you ready? They are in the family. They are in the same family. Okay, love it. This is freesia, though, which is a totally different flower. The scent of freesia, these are very lightly scented. Sometimes you get them, especially if they're pink. They tend to be more intensely scented. Is insane. So if you haven't smelled it before, if you ever get into a garden center or a nursery where you can smell it, I highly recommend it for you. So we build altars here at Sage Goddess in layers, okay? So now we have our foundation. Whatever the base fabric is, a little bit of height, some additional fabric. I always like to have cords on my altars. It's very important for me. I've got a couple of forms. I made this wand live with you in a crafting. This was a gift from someone 10 years ago in San Francisco. A friend of mine got it for me at a gem show up there, and then this beautiful double terminated wand. Okay, now I want to kind of back up. When we build in layers, it is important on an altar to have a form of life force. So we have the little, of course, we have the air plants, but I'm just looking around to think about how I might want to bring in some additional life force energy. We have the stone chalices, which are really pretty. We also have these, I love these little brass chalices. Have you seen these? They're ceremonial, but you really can, like, it holds about maybe 1/8 of a cup. And it is beverage safe, hot or cold. So this is a great little way to represent the water element on your altar. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut one of the freesia flowers. For me, if I'm going to put something in a short vase, I want to really not leave too much stem, because I really want to showcase the flower. And then you want to make sure you get, I should have had some separate water, so hold on. I need to, I don't have any other water, but I need to get water in here real quick to keep this flower alive. Let me hope this is graceful. Okay. So, and I'm going to cut the stem just a little bit more, because it actually is still too long. And I'm just going to float, oh, look at this. It's almost like sacred geometry. Do you see they're two together like that? But is that beautiful? These are the freesia flowers. I want those. I feel bad that I'm taking them in their bud form, but at the same time, it represents life about to emerge, which is so much the energy of Imbolc anyway. Oh, wait till you see this. This is really pretty. I know I'm doing it off camera. Look. I think that's really sweet. So could we do a huge vase and like a whole big shebang? Yes, but I almost think there's just a really elegant simplicity, right? Now, you could, I'm going to put that right there because it just feels like a little centerpiece. You don't have to use, freesia can be a little bit on the expensive side. You don't have to use expensive flowers. And a lot of times herbs from your garden are a beautiful offering. Now I'm going to take this to the next level, I think. Stay with me, this is eucalyptus, which is a total master healer. Look. If this works, I think it's going to look really neat because it kind of had that spray effect. That's an interesting combination of eucalyptus with freesia. I wouldn't have anticipated it, but I love the medicinal with the floral. It's pretty, right? Okay, that makes me really happy. Not as happy as George with his cow. Well, shit, look, it all fell apart. Did you guys see George with his cow today? One of my team members, Merlin, has this dog that we're all obsessed with. He's so cute, and his name is George. I'm gonna fix this. And he looks like a cow, kind of like Paxton. So I got him a cow, brought it in today. She made it into a scarf for him, and I went live on Facebook. So if you want to see a dog in a cow scarf, I can make that happen for you today. Yeah, it's arguably the most important thing you'll ever see in your life. So, okay, so that is set. Now, here's what I love. The last principle of altar building I want to teach you, because it's so critical, is balance. Okay? We have 3 forms of life breathing on the altar. 3 is a great, so the triangle represents it too. It's a great number of balance and symmetry. Maiden, Mother, Crone, right? It's the 3 faces of the goddess. And so I do love the triplicate kind of way that nature gets represented when we think about balance. 2 of things is nice for balance too. What you don't often want to do is 4 or 5. For some reason, unless you're doing like, quartz generators to represent the 4 directions, sometimes 4 can overwhelm an altar. So you want to be careful with that, but if you're trying to mark the 4 directions, I think 4 generators can be really beautiful. But 5 of anything can overwhelm, So try to do even numbers, or if you're not going to do an even number, do 3. That'll create that triangular energy, and it will balance out the energy of the altar too. Now, one of my favorite little goodies that we've made, and I think a lot of you didn't see this, because I had friends who were like, "Where'd you get that?" And I said, "What are you talking about? It was on sagegoddess.com. It's a little mini smudge burner or smudge holder. It is a burner too. And so your bundle sits like that, and you just light the edge here, and the smoke goes. Isn't that cute? So because you always want to have something to cleanse and clear on any altar space you create, and you can choose where to put that. I'm feeling like that wants to go up here and have a little bit of height, like that. It's nice to have the tools right there ready to go. Now, you can always go crazy. You can always go crazy and do a whole set like this. Now, I have a surprise for you. I'm going to do this only for people who are live on this and put this word Imbolc in your notes, so not everybody's going to know this. Just for today, if you shop at sagegoddess.com, because we're having our perfume buy one get one free. If you put Imbolc in your notes, one of you is going to get this sent with your order, and it includes the tree or the duo of Palo Santo. There's a peach selenite sphere. Actually, it's Himalayan salt. There is a selenite wand. There is a handmade sage goddess bundle, and then there is the sunflower bundle with the additional Palo Santo and a quartz point right on the front. It's like every tool you need for your entire magical practice in an onyx bowl, so you can burn everything right in there. I'll put the little extra eucalyptus in there for you. So Imbolc in your notes. Yeah, if you go to sagegoddess.com and you just, if there's anything you are shopping for today or tomorrow, let's just do it for today, I think. What do you think, Karen? Or should it run until tomorrow? If you put Imbolc in your notes, I will choose one of you to send that to. For now, it's going to sit on my altar. Isn't that beautiful? Look at what that does instantly, visually for the space. What I love about onyx for this time of year, and I don't know if we have any other forms of onyx in our store right now. Team SG can let us know. But this particular banded type of onyx in all the shades of like green and brown and a little bit of red is the energy of Imbolc to me. Because it's like Bridgid's fire, a little bit of grounding, lots of growth energy, right? And onyx is for strength and endurance. I think that's one of the prettiest little smudge sets we've ever made. And if you have an onyx bowl like that or that one, you should really think about using it as a tool to hold your smudging tools, or a bowl for that. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't go back and add Imbolc because it makes Team SG nuts. It would make me nuts too. They do such an amazing job, but I try not to do things to really push them over the edge. You can imagine how that would be sort of stressful. I don't know why now what I'm doing is decorating your smudging set, but it needed some more eucalyptus. Okay, now. Other things I want to show you. If you got the Imbolc tools for this ceremony coming up on the 1st, I'm trying to see if I have a little base. I don't know if that would be the right size for that. Oh, it actually is. Here's another optional use for your chalices. I don't know that I love it for mine, but it does actually hold the beeswax candle that we're decorating together for Imbolc this year. So that's one option. What I usually like to do, that's why I'm looking around to see what I have, is use a stone base to hold my candles. We do have this little ginkgo flower, which is really super pretty. I think what I might do is put that there and then just place the candle on top of the ginkgo. And, well, that's pretty. I like that. So the reason you want to have a base for your beeswax candles from Sage Goddess is the wax does drip down. I find that beautiful because beeswax is super magical, but you don't want to put our beeswax candles directly on your favorite piece of velvet or scarf or whatever, because you will have a wax drip. So something that catches the wax would be really good. Narcissus, daffodil, tulip could be one. I've always heard narcissus, daffodil, freesia, snowdrop, crocus. But I'm down with tulip for Imbolc too, for your flower correspondence purposes. Okay, now other things you may want to add. If you have your little apothecary bottles, a lot of you have been collecting these. We don't have them in stock right now. But if you have your little bottles, those can be sweet little additions too. Like maybe you want to sprinkle a little bit of calendula. I like a little bit of, again, pop of color and life on my altar, and also bringing in the energy of the herb. Calendula is a master healer. It calms and soothes the central nervous system. So having calendula flowers is, aww. You got to see what Jared brought for my candle. It's really pretty. I do like my little ginkgo, but I think he picked something better. So anyway, calendula flowers. And it also represents the ancestors too. And then just sprinkling some of those dry. You don't have to do this, but I just think bringing the energy in of the herb and also allowing yourself to work with the energy by releasing the oils when you soften the flower a little bit. So that's fun, right? Again, if you were here, you might not like that. If you're one of those people who just likes things neat and tidy, you may not love sprinkling dried herbs on your altar, but I've always enjoyed it because it makes the whole experience kind of tactile for me. Look what he brought. That's a yellow fluorite. Yellow and green fluorite bowl. I think it is going to beat the ginkgo for candle base. Let's see what we think. What do you like better? Here we go by popular opinion. I really like that. I really, really do. By the way, I'm sure you know the trick is to make your candles stay so they don't fall over on your altar. You light the bottom of the candle so that you drip some wax. Drip, drip, drip. And then you stick. It's a drip and stick. You know that trick? So it doesn't tip over. So if you have, kitties or dogs who like to do this on your altar, the little shitty thing that they do, they're not going to go do 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 and off it goes, right? So good, good, good. Hey, Jen's Pet Care's checking in from Jersey. Yeah, where are you guys checking in from tonight? It's really great to see you. You like fluorite too? Do I cleanse your items before adding them to my altar? It's funny because when I'm here, not every time, I usually just dedicate the altar because everything here has been smudged. Everything here gets smudged multiple times a day. That may or may not surprise you. There's never a time when this building doesn't smell like sage. So I feel like we almost over clear everything. So as a regular practice, I don't necessarily go through and clear everything. I usually will clear myself. And, it's a good reminder. I've already smudged today, so that's why it wasn't top of mind. So, because and then I dedicate the altar, which we will do together, but that's more of a focusing and intention and then sealing the intention into the tools. Okay, Ohio's there wearing 3 layers. Love that. Louisiana, St. Louis, Central Valley. Yeah, I've heard it's very cold in the Northeast right now, so sending you a lot of Bridgid's warmth today. And look, it never hurts. You know what I mean? It never hurts. Move the smoke clockwise. You can't really overdo it. So I'm glad we talked about that. I know. After all, what's in a name? Okay. Other things that we should talk about now. There's not as much stone element on here as a girl might enjoy. So you could choose to add more. I like these two because these are, again, sort of like eternal colors of Imbolc to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my candle back a little bit. I think. I don't want to have it right at the same height as the mandala because it's wood and I don't want things getting wonky over here. But I'm just trying to see like maybe this pink amethyst generator, which is about heart opening, heart healing, connecting with and aligning with your heart. Remember, amethyst is for balance, but what you're balancing depends on the color. So with the purple amethyst, which is the most common, you're balancing your crown chakra, which is your connection to spirit, right? And I would say to some extent also your thoughts. The green amethyst, the prasiolite, is for balancing the physical body, and then the pink amethyst is for balancing the heart. So I love, because for me that's what Bridgid is, that unconditional love. For me, pink amethyst is like kind of the ultimate Bridgid stone. And then, fluorite's just great. It's about showing you your pathway, what direction to follow. So I kind of like that, Jared was on that wavelength when he brought in the fluorite bowl, and then I can sort of intensify the fluorite energy by adding that. You're probably already seeing how dynamic it is when you start adding generators to your sacred space. I think I'm going to bring this down because I'll use it probably pretty often. It really does, when you add gemstone generators to your altar space, it creates height, but it also creates loops of energy, as we call them. So generators are fountains of energy. They have a cut base, and then the energy flows through the base up to the tip of the generator, back down and through. So it literally creates like a vortex of energy. So I would say you got to have at least one generator. Do you need to have 7? I mean, if you're going to have one, Generators for me are like bunnies. You start out with one and then you turn around and there's 8. And you don't know how they got there. But you're happy because 8 bunnies is better than 1 bunny. How about adding flames instead of generators? Love that. Love it. I'm so glad you mentioned that. This is a dendritic quartz flame. Super powerful for manifestation. Okay, I hate to say this, but I'm kind of moving in the direction of maybe not having that as the centerpiece because of Bridgid. What do we think? I don't like these kinds of decisions because it's like, those are both chicken dinner, you know what I mean? Maybe what I could do is see if it is just too much if I put them both there. I don't know. They are like buddies, and you know it's true. I always say, you know, there's weirder things to collect, y'all, than gemstones, right? My mom collected salt and pepper shakers. I mean, God bless her, but what? I like a good salt and pepper shaker. I really do. I don't want 100 of them. But generators, I would do it. You do like it? It's not too much? Okay. We're doing both. We're doing both. Okay. I'm doing both. There's something in my Venus and Virgo heart that thinks it's too much, and I don't know what's happening in my head exactly. As is often the case, that's not good either. What if no. I'm going to stop, and because I think it was good the way it was. It was good the way it was. You collect cacti? Sam, I do too. I'm a succulent-aholic. I really am. I trade little cuttings of succulents with people so we can grow different things because I have some special ones and I share. And then after a storm, I collected little bits of them from the garden and put them in a bag because, you know, they can grow so easily. Move the wand. I love it. Candy DeShane is representing the other side. By the way, I do this live impromptu like this because it's fun to actually do it with you. If this was all set up and I just walked you through it and said, here's this and here's that and here's why I chose that, you'd be like, that wasn't fun. Other things you could include, I want to switch gears because we have some perfume blending to do. Other things you could include in the universe of possibility. We do need a little bit more tea light magic or the oil lamp, which is one of the things I'm going to work with because I love that from, I believe that was last Imbolc, wasn't it? And that's a beautiful way to bring light into your space. This is one of the coolest little incense burners if you work with the kinds of incense that I do at Sage Goddess, which doesn't need to have charcoal. So you can just put a pinch of your incense onto your burner. These are lighters I brought in today and leave it to me to bring in lighters that don't work. It's a little sensor. So, and again, the colors are so spring forward, right? So those are some other options that you could include if you wanted to do an incense stick holder, if you wanted to bring in, we do have some different perfumes that we've worked with before for spring and for Bridgid certainly too. I think that was Spring Priestess. Yeah. So that's a good blend from the past that you might want to include. Okay. So we are blending a perfume today. Today is one of my teacher's birthdays. So, in spirit, he's not here, but I want to wish Jay a happy birthday because we have some mutual friends in common. Maybe somebody's watching. So, if you are, all my love to Jay and blessings for a new year. A very potent teacher in my world. And then I think, Jared, should I be changing cameras for this part so they can see the blending? I think I'm going to my other camera. So bear with me for just a second while I do that for you. It's no fun to blend perfume if you can't see what I'm doing. Sorry, I have a lot of paper in front of me. Okay, Diet Cocoa. So now we have le bottle that we are going to blend in together. Let's see if I can lift this up for you just a little bit. I may not be able to do that, so let me see. We normally have Team SG on the scene, but everybody's really got a lot going on today. So, okay. Now, the ingredients in the perfume, I want to go one by one and I want to explain them to you and why we chose them. And this perfume is called 111 because it's 111, January 11th, 111. And so we were talking about the power of 3, right? If it looks good on camera, that's okay. We don't have to change it, but I thought you might want to pull it back just a little bit. So the power of 3, 111, is that everything represented here, right? The triangle. At Imbolc, we are honoring the feminine, right? It is because it's a gestation period, because all of nature is alive and pregnant. There is this honoring of the triple phases of the feminine, right? Can you see what up close, the bottle? So I'm going to go one by one with the bottles. Let me know what you want to see up close, Melanie Davis, and I will do it for you. We're going to go one by one with the oils. All of these oils have 3 faces to them. By the way, 111 is also a manifestation number. It's not quite as potent as 1111, but it's second best. So I also do make wishes. Do you ever see 111 p.m. or 111 a.m. instead of 1111? I also make wishes at 111. And all of the ones in synchrony with each other represent energies of manifestation and creation. My understanding is it's called 111 because today is January 11th. Athena Max like asking for a friend. I don't know if it's 1-11 or 111. I don't know. For me, I often don't use the hyphen or not the hyphen, but the slash. You know, like even when I'm sending people like we're gonna meet from 2:30 to 3:30, I don't put the colon. Because I work with the numbers in their pure form, so to me it doesn't really matter. Happy birthday! 111 is Jennifer Hallblum's birthday. Happy birthday to you. So we've got some powerhouse folks with this birthday. I love it. Well, you are the Capricorn, right? And all those ones represent your ability to, as a singular being, unite with others to make dreams come true. That's magic to me. So we start with sandalwood. One of the magical energies of sandalwood, and all of these oils, by the way, are pure. Sandalwood is mellow. It's a bass note. But what sandalwood does is allow you to drop deeper into states of meditation. So consciously changing your level of awareness and also softening and deepening that state of awareness too, which is super important for manifestation. How good are you at manifesting when you are super stressed out, when you're super sad, when you're super frustrated? You know what I mean? Like for me, if I'm in the zone, I'm almost in a state of meditation. If I'm manifesting or creating or cooking or, you know, in love or whatever, I'm in that zone. I'm not distracted and I'm not in a low vibrational state. So, and Sherelle, I see your comment there too. You got intentionally married at 111. I love that. I mean, I believe in all of those things as correspondences of energy that deepen the energy of an intention. So being married or being somewhere at a certain time on a certain day with all the energy, and we're making it on the 11th. And I'll never make it again. This is going to be an exclusive one for today. So this will be available, by the way, in a few minutes at sagegoddess.com. And I don't know if it's part of the BOGO. I saw somebody ask that earlier. Wouldn't that be fun? I don't think it is. I think there's certain perfumes that are buy one, get one today. Okay, next up. What's my favorite oil? Of them all, and has always been, since the first time I smelled it, when I was about 14, first time I smelled it, officially knew what it was. 36 years, the one, the only. If I can only take one oil with me into my entire future to smell, it is patchouli. So anytime we're talking about manifestation, grounding passion and desire too, which is also in the domain of Bridgid, we have to talk about patchouli. And I always laugh when I'm pouring patchouli, like, oh, I hope I don't spill it all over myself. Oh, I really hope this doesn't fall in my lap. Hi, Jackie. Rose, listen, I could give you the top 10 if you're curious. I mean, that's a conversation in itself. And Rose is up there. Neroli, Orange Blossom. Tuberose, pure tuberose, which I wear every day. I wear pure tuberose and aged patchouli every day. I'm wearing it today. Okay, what's bay about? What do you do with a bay leaf? It's the new moon, really. You write new intentions, and you also can write things to clear them. So, calling things in and clearing things out, that's the energy of bay. That's going into the blend. I love that so much. It's so funny, my spirit guides are like, you need to add the quartz point to this blend. I'll be right back. Let me see if it'll fit. No, but it can be the stopper. Oh, did you see that? Oh, did you see? Look, look, look. Oh my God. It's even better. Like, why was I called to go get this specific quartz point, and it literally fits in like it was meant to seal the bottle. Done. Spirit guides. So I'll infuse this with the energy of today. New moon in Capricorn. Visions and dreams coming to pass. Super big achievement for you. Success. Manifestation of all your dreams and desires in 2024. 111. I like that. That's why. Can somebody stop me at 4:11 Pacific time? Because I think that's 1:11 Lemuria time, Hawaii time. Am I correct? Wouldn't it just be kind of cool? I'm going to see. Actually, I don't think we'll still be live. I will charge it at 1:11 Hawaii time. I think that would be really cool. Okay, labdanum. Total mystic manifestation oil. Super big for power. Labdanum was worn by Julius Caesar in Rome. At the time Caesar wore labdanum, no one else was allowed to wear it because he wanted you to know he was there, like Julius Caesar would. I'll charge it, yeah. Aloha, I know, some Hawaii love. I was thinking, it's got to be 1:11 in somebody's time zone, and then I'm like, I think it's Hawaii time. It's 1:11 soon. There's two, but Bridgid, there is a part of Hawaii that's 3 hours behind. There's part that's 2, I believe, and part that's 3. But maybe with the time change, is it 2? You'll have to let me know. I could be off on that. Okay, 5-finger grass, wealth. Bridgid governs the arrival of abundance in physical form. So may you experience wealth. And also wealth of all the things. May you be wealthy in health, and wealthy in love, and wealthy in kind of all the money in the world. But if you don't have those other things, does it matter? Myrrh. So myrrh, grounding, protection, again, soothing, calming. I think of myrrh as very stabilizing. So that Bridgid, eternal flame, kind of deep mother love that we were talking about goes in. And then for all the physical heals and feels, Manuka. Manuka is one of the most powerful essential oils you can work with for inflammation. Is it New Zealand 111 vibes too? How cool is that? Oh, we did miss the boat? Okay, Athena Max says it'll be 111 where she is in New Zealand. Cheers, darling. So for all the heals and feels, also for new beginnings, Manuka. That's a powerhouse. Manuka is in my medicine cabinet, my physical healing cabinet for cuts and scrapes. Yeah. It is. It's more powerful than tea tree and most of the ones we work for all those things. Now we're going to sex it up. This is ginger. Ginger stimulates the sacral chakra. Very good for Also stimulating the metabolism, the digestive process, very good for easing tummies. We just got past 5:55 in Costa Rica. I'm telling you, oh, this is really good. Sorry, sometimes I'm blending and I'm like, oh, ooh, that's really good. That is rad. That is Bridgid. I'm telling you. Okay, I have 2 more ingredients. So and my favorite is here. So, but so it's only gonna make it better. This is our St. John's wort. St. John's wort is to help you to recover from depression and anxiety. It literally is this little pink oil of mental healing, and I just want you to have that. It's very expensive, and this is the real deal. So that's why there's just a little. Fertility freedom helps with overthinking. This perfume is rad. So this is going to be available. I think it's almost available now at sagegoddess.com. Oh my god. Okay, it's about to get better. This is Orange Blossom. Of course we had to have one of the sweet, once again, I hope I don't spill it all over myself. It'd be such a shame if I spilled it all over my table. I once spilled, so here's Orange Blossom for you for the sweetness of life and love. I once spilled in my living room, the kids and David, everybody were there, an oil blend I was making all over my rug, and I was like, well, I was actually more upset about not, because the oils were really rare, and the rug cleaned up really easily. I can still smell it when I'm in the room, but I was so bummed because it was a really rare, expensive blend, and it now lives in my rug. Yeah, this is almost at sagegoddess.com. I think it's at 4 p.m. Pacific. It's coming. Karen will keep you posted. Oh my god. It's just really good. There's almost nothing I love more than this. It is. Some people don't enjoy working with essential oils and things like that. I don't know a lot of those people because my people tend to really love it. But like it really does excite me, and my ancestors have been doing it for a long time. My dad was telling me about my grandmother, or my great grandmother, his grandmother. Yeah. And she used to, he said there were no doctors in the village, and she knew just how to make all of these things, these tinctures and salves, and he's like, she always had stuff in the kitchen, and you would come to her, people would travel all from all over for her. Her name was Thalia, and my dad talks about this on a video that he just recorded that I'm giving to my students, and how people would come to see her because there was no doctor, and as soon as you came in and said, oh, my foot this, or my shoulder that, or whatever, she knew exactly what to do. It's in my veins. Okay. May the alchemy of these oils made on this holy day, 111, bring you divine balance and alignment with all of your intentions for the year, especially being made on the new moon in Capricorn. I mean, there's a holy signature on this oil. May it be a blessing to you and to anyone you share it with and anyone you gift it to. And I will tell you, I'm not making more. When I do things like this, it's a one and done. People always ask, like, can't you do it again? But there's no replacing this moment. You know what I mean? So it really is my last chance in that 1 o'clock somewhere hour to blend with you on the new moon in Capricorn on 111. So cheers. It is charged. It is infused. And it is blessed. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to add to the space. So the last thing I want to do is consecrate the altar, dedicate the altar. Any double turn quartz point you have is good. This one I like to work with because I've been working with it for over a decade, so it's a real power tool. It's small but mighty. A lot of you know this wand really well. So I just want to dedicate the space to all of us who are going to be working with it for the rest of the year. There we go. So I'm going to call in the energy of Bridgid from above to below. I'm going to call in the energy, so from the north, from the west, from the south, and from the east. And direct all that energy inward to the altar. Send all of that energy outward to you. May the energy of Bridgid and Imbolc and the coming of spring be a blessing to you, to your space, and to everything it holds, and together we say, Amen, Aho, and so it is. Yeah, and they put, Karen put the link up there if you're looking for more Imbolc altar ideas. I would encourage you, I mean, if this is fun, you can get so inspired. I follow a lot of really fun Instagram accounts on Instagram and share those posts. For me, I love interior design and I love sacred space. So teaching you a couple of core design principles and then inspiring you to make your own. What I would love, if you are willing, please take a picture of your sacred space and tag us on Instagram. We will reshare you to our story. We get so excited to see your spaces, and it's an honor to share your space and your magic that you're making with us. So we are at the Sage Goddess on Instagram. A lot of times on Instagram, it's actually me. I'm addicted to Instagram, so we have a lot of fun with it, but I personally, it's one of my favorite parts of social media. So yeah, find us at the Sage Goddess and make sure you are tagging us so that we can reshare what you make. Your magic is our magic too. All right, drum roll please is the perfume set. We are at 4:02 p.m. We just passed 111. Wherever it would have been. Actually, it would have been 101. We're not quite there yet. I'm going to set an alarm on my phone. I literally am, because I want to bless the perfume one more time. So I'm going to set it for 4:11 p.m., which will be my time a few minutes from now. There. So my alarm will go off and I will bless the perfume. It's 4:44 where Lynn is. Okay, so a couple of things. We are having an Imbolc party, a ceremony, coming up on February 2nd. Is it February 2nd, or are we doing it on the 1st, Karen? I see Friday, February 2nd. So, and I think there might be tools still available, but if not, definitely join us for the ceremony. We'd love to have you there. It's free and it's online right here. And then tonight I have New Moon. I do, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific time, so that's an hour from now. Same place, different intention, focus. We're going to be setting intentions for the next cycle and doing some important work together under this Capricorn New Moon, so I hope you can join me for that. The perfume is live. It's at sagegoddess.com. And your code today is Earth for 23% off. That would be a bummer to miss that, wouldn't it? 23%? Sometimes if there's a sale and it's like 5%, you're like, well, I missed it. 23%? And remember, what do you need to put in your notes to enter to win the whole bowl? So if you get your perfume, put Imbolc in your notes, and one of you will get your perfume and this for your altar. Okay, thanks you guys. It was great to see you. The intention candle for Imbolc is in the kit, actually. It's this candle right here. That's the actual one. I mean, that's like a fully decorated one, but we're decorating them together, so I'm looking forward to doing that with you. All right, y'all. We're going to sign off for now. I'm learning. I was laughing with my students last night. I'm like, and I don't know where to sign off, but I do. It says stop streaming. Bye. Thanks for being here today. I'll see you guys at 5 o'clock.